Good night. Next news. Fact check. Former Trump White House lawyer Ty Cobb said president is worse than anyone in our history. Snopes. Cobb, who was a White House lawyer during the first Trump administration, made the comment on an ACQ. Acquaintance's private Facebook post. Below are your comments. Do a check on how many folks who worked for him the first time and find him to be a danger? The first time he hired intelligent and experienced people, but he fired most of them because they all not agree to what he wanted. On the economy. Fact, since World War II, the U.S. economy has performed significantly better on average under the administration of Democratic preside. NTS. Fact. The unemployment rate has risen on average under Republican presidents, while it has fallen on average under Democratic presidents. Fact. Budget deficits relative to the recessions between 1953 and 2020 began under Republican presidents. Fact. Donald Trump increased the national debt by $7.8 trillion, the largest amount for any one term. 2017 to 2021. President in history. Feel free to check. History will write that Trump was the worst president ever in America. But history will also write that the Congress and Senate will also be the worst because they did nothing to stop him. This is recorded as the least effective Congress since the year 1931. A proposal way talked about changing Congress to a one bill, one subject. Congress stated they were too busy for that to happen. Guess it is okay to sit back and collect over $200,000 per year for doing nothing. Sure, they run all these interviews with people running for positions, but will all the interviews and comment, they still vote them in. An example is when a congressman sold his Republican vote on the BBB to put in that silencers should not be registered or taxed. This was later taken out, but what does this have on a budget issue? To maintain the founder's intent of public office as a civic duty, a one-term limit should apply to elected positions. Former employees of DJT need to speak out. So should former presidents. I know that endangers all of them, but we all are in danger. And how about the former employees that know about the private activities of DJT? There is likely much more to that. Lots of good information in the posts here. Cobb was a Trump supporter once, so his opinion now is not relevant. Or I could say that Mr. Cobb had never seen Trump as president before, so his opinion is valid. Or that he has a right to change his mind. Whatever the point, Trump is a blight on our history, as is this Congress. When Republicans act like Americans, they will wonder how they let this creature into our government. Then, there may be no GOP left. And I am very serious about that. I happen to agree with Mr. Cobb. History will study Trump and his enablers for many years to come. He helped create this. Never let Trump supporters forget who they elected. Trump has real contempt for the country, appoints wholly unqualified people to key positions and kicked 12 million people off Medicaid, eliminated child food support and bleep worldwide healthcare. Efforts monitoring pandemic-producing diseases including Ebola. Among. Why? Because none of these setbacks compare to the possibility of Caucasians becoming the minority in 2048. Well, none of this stupid and crazy stuff was happening until Trump showed up in January. We had the best economy in decades, inflation was low and going even lower, we still had friends, allies and trading partners in the world who weren't in trade wars with us, our government was functio null and Russia was still our enemy. How things have changed for the worse, much, much worse. The only common denominator in this equation is Trump and the MAGA Congress. It has taken Cobb and a very great many other Americans far too long to figure this out. Trump cares for nothing beyond money and power. And we have 41 more months of this. Let us hope that history will show this as a low point in America's history and not the beginning of the end of our democracy. MAGA, if Trump is so capable and awesome, why is 90% of his previous administration think he should be nowhere near the White House? Don't forget SCOTUS along with Trump and Congress as the worst ever. It's a trifecta that I wouldn't wish on any country, especially ours. Benedict Arnold was more patriotic and more honorable than Trump. Cobb got it right. Trump is as bad a human being as he is a president. Hardly a day goes by he doesn't demonstrate some breaking the rule of law or a constitutional entry. Throw in his ongoing insults and lies and you have someone unfit for the position. This is just more proof of how Trump is the greatest conman in history. How he can get people, low income and educated, to vote for him when he has disdain and nefarious intent for them. So, Snopes indicates that it is true that Cobb said Trump is the worst. It is also true that a panel of historians and presidential scholars from the American Political Science Association rated Trump as the worst president ever for his first term. It looks like we are getting a consensus here. We must never forget that the Supreme Court bears a great deal of the responsibility for Trump's reign along with this Congress. The 6 conservative justices held the American people in callous disregard in granting Trump unprecedented power to ignore the law. We, the people of the United States, must unite in one voice and declare we will not allow any sitting president to knowingly break any law. Then demand that president be held accountable. Cobb, just now you're realizing how bad Trump is. Most of knew that the very first day of his first term. Now we have to get the rest of the cult members to wake up. Mr. Cobb is entirely correct in his statement, but what is really scary is as an attorney for Trump he knows quite a bit more than has ever been disclosed. Have to agree with his comment. He was there and knows the facts. History will note the qualifications of those serving Trump. There is a lack of noble intent of each one. Several significant challenges confront the United States currently, with the economy, healthcare, and social issues being prominent concerns. Specifically, high inflation, the affordability and availability of healthcare, and the federal budget deficit are major economic worries. Socially, issues like income inequality, drug addiction, and the ability of political parties to cooperate are also significant problems. So, given all this, what do you suppose President Trump are focused on? Trump threatens to revoke Born in USA Rosie O'Donnell's. I would add to that this time in America has the worst people in history. If they could get away with slavery and lynchings, tar and feathering, and open bleep, they would. They're the worst people because they voted for this guy and the government confirmed these people and said the worst law in history. They dismantled the gov and break law daily. The damage done is comparable to past offenses because it will bleep millions for a decade. They declared war on Americans. What is very sad is the fact that despite the ineptness of him, his supporters will grin and bear it. And will continue to wear those red caps and support him until the end. He just said what I already knew. We all know that Mr. Cobb. Question is, what are you, as a former enabler, going to do about it in the best interest of America and the world? Please subscribe to my channel. And if you like it, please thumbs up.